Today on The Grid, we're talking about great travel locations for photographers. We're going to look at a pretty fascinating Lightroom and Photoshop discovery I uncovered. And we're going to look at a really cool new travel bag for photographers. And it all starts in just 60 seconds.
The Grid is brought to you by Tamron. Check out their 28 to 75 millimeter f2.8 lens. It's for Sony full frame mirrorless. It's awesome. Go to tamron-usa.com. And Westcott. Check out their new Rapid Box switch. It has 9 light modifiers and 13 quick swap light inserts. Check it out right now at fjwestcott.com. And ProPhoto, the light shaping company. Enter their contest. You might win a ProPhoto B1 kit worth over $2,800. And Platypod, the tripod alternative that is changing the world. Everybody has a Platypod. You should too. Go to platypod.com.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another live episode of The Grid. My name is Scott Kelby, and I'm joined by the fabulous, the incredible, the ludicrous,
I'm here just for the introduction.
the vivacious, I like that one,
I do too.
Kalebra. Hi, sweetie. I mean, hello, Kalebra. Welcome to the show.
Well, hello, Scott. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's great to have you here. So, are you in town often?
Quite.
Well, good to have you on the show today, sweet.
Thank you.
Kalebra. I'm not
Thank
used
you.
to calling her Kalebra. Anyway, but Kalebra, that's a very formal way of calling you.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
How's your new doggo?
Oh,
She
she's okay.
likes the new doggo. Have we shown the new doggo on the show?
No, like you mean like a photo?
Yeah, like a photograph?
Well, I don't know. I haven't been on the show until now.
Well,
Since
maybe
the new
I'll
doggo.
stall for a second. Can you pull up a picture of the doggo?
No.
She has 2,400 photos.
On my phone. You can't believe what I had to do to get the photos to have for today.
I see. Well, we're glad to have you guys here today. Our topic today is we're talking about travel spots for photographers. So a lot of people do a lot of their travel in this last month. It's the first day of August. We thought it would be fun to share some ideas of places that you might want to consider going here in August or September, and then the rest of the year just stay home.
That you have no hope of planning and getting there now. But
Hey, did anybody notice my chair just shrunk down like 3 inches? I'm baby Scott. I'm baby Scott. Seriously, I'm sitting on it. It goes like this. Chunk. You have the stupidest chairs.
Okay, I rigged it. No.
I figured. I'll fix it on the break, but until then, it's just going to be misery. Anyway, that's what we're talking about. Great photography locations for. All right, do you have a?
Now I'm going to sit up even taller.
Do you have? Oh, don't make me feel bad.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Do you have a good one to kick us off with?
Destination?
Good travel destination, yes.
Well, I do. I have 2 that I'll be talking about today. So we could look at our latest trip, which was Norway, which I highly suggest for summer because, we just needed one parka. But that was awesome. So, yeah. And thank you, Jason. He's going to put some of the images up that I took.
Oh, that's cheating. I didn't get Jason any of my pictures.
Well, hey, I'm going to tell you. Maybe that's why your chair's getting shorter there.
Okay. Ooh, hey, but while that picture's on screen, I can fix my chair. Tell us about what we see in this picture, Kalebra.
So what was really kind of neat is as you drove around the Lofoten Islands, which is where these images are from, these little red cabins or cottages were all over the place. And then what we found out is that's actually where they would do the fishing or process the fish. Not all of them, I think, are still. Oh my God.
I'm back to regular size.
Okay. Are still active or being used. But this is just one that, it was literally on the side of the road. Like we're just driving around and you just come across this incredible scenery. I describe Norway as like big nature. Big nature, right?
Big
so this
nature.
is just one of those.
Now, you took that
images.
shot with a Canon 70 Mark II?
I took that with my iPhone X.
With your iPhone. You get the best iPhone shots, I swear.
Thank you.
Well, I'm not going to show any of my Norway photos because I have no Norway photos scheduled up for today.
Well, that's okay. That was one of my suggestions. It doesn't have to be one of yours.
Well, I love, you know what it is I love about the Lofoten Islands? It's Norway how you picture Norway. Like big fjords and still water and those little beautiful red huts. Because when you go to the big cities, like we went to Bergen, Bergen Schmergen. We went to Bergen, and it was
I cannot tell you how many times we heard that.
I did use the word Schmergen, and that's for those of you who are Wayne's World fans will appreciate the term Schmergen. Anyway, yeah, we heard Schmergen. That was like the word I used for everything. Can you give me a Schmergen of that? Where's the Schmergen? Who took my Schmergen? I was like that for like 10 days. Anyway, but the thing about the Lofoten Islands that's different is like Bergen is a nice big city with IKEAs and McDonald's and everything, just like, you know.
Well, there's a lot outside of it, and I think
you have to get outside like a big city like that.
Like right outside Bergen was really beautiful, and we saw a lot of things that we really thought were unique, at least to us, and really pretty scenery. And had we not gone to the Lofoten Islands, probably would have been blown away, right?
Oh, would have been like, oh my gosh, you got to go to Bergen.
Right. So I think that was the issue with Bergen, because it was a beautiful town. And I loved it. I loved going down by the water.
Oh no, Bergen was very nice, but after, I would just say this: if you go to Norway, go to Bergen first, and you will love Bergen. Yeah. And then when you go to Lofoten, you will black out. You'll be like, I can't believe how amazing this is. But if you go to Lofoten first and you go to Bergen, you're like,
well, I think you'll enjoy it either way.
Oh, yeah,
but I just
wouldn't
go all of that way. Now that we've been there and seen them both, I would not go all that way and not go to the Lofoten Islands.
Yeah, so that's a great way to put it. It would be like this. It would be like, I went to the United States for the first time ever. I wanted to go to New York, but instead I went to Charlotte. Charlotte's a fine city. There's nothing wrong with Charlotte, but you're just like a couple of hours from New York, you know, like, or half an hour by plane. You're like, don't stop at Charlotte. If you go to Norway, don't stop at Oslo. Don't stop at Bergen.
Well, we were committed too. I mean, we had five flights.
It took us 5 flights to get there, and we didn't have to. It's just the way our flights worked out. It was weird. And then after five flights to get there, we couldn't land in the town that we needed to, and so we had diverted and took a 3.5-hour bus ride, of what should have been a 20-minute airplane.
But it was cool because in that 3.5-hour bus ride, we saw a lot of rural areas and homes and different things. Well, he was sleeping, but what was really funny, can I tell him this, is that you were asleep on that plane trip to the Lofoten Islands and wasn't aware that we'd been diverted due to weather. It was pretty bad, and so we had to go someplace else. So he wakes up and he's like, "Are we there?" And
here?
I'm like, "Nope, we're someplace else, and we're gonna get in a bus and drive."
And I don't believe her. I'm like, no, we're not taking 3.5 hours. The plane was 20 minutes. Come on.
That was awesome. I was laughing so hard.
She thought it was quite funny.
I just don't think it's funny.
All right, I'm going to give you. Let me get mine queued up here. Of course, I'm not even on the right control room or anything yet. I'm going to give you an idea for a vacation spot or a photography spot that you might not think of, but I think is kind of cool.
Ooh.
Forgive me for using the bridge. I got to use something else. I can't use the bridge. Bridge is just awful. Let me use Photo Mechanic. All right. So here's what I'm recommending. All right. Valencia, Spain.
Ooh.
Valencia, Spain is one of the most photogenic cities. It really is beautifully awesome. And I found out about it from my friend David Zeiser. So I saw David Zeiser, and he ran it. And actually, my brother saw him first and said, "You guys have to go to Valencia." I ran into David later, said, "Hey, you were telling my brother about Valencia." He's like, "Scott, my wife and I, LaDawn, travel all over the world, and it's one of our favorite places." And what's interesting about it is it has this ultra-modern city. Like, it has this whole thing built by a very famous architect. He built this whole, and that's what you're seeing here as part of this incredibly
cool
futuristic city.
Wow.
And the whole rest of it is like super old town. Like, this is it right here. Like, it's just an opera house and science museums and all this. Oh, it's just an incredible place, but that's all in one area. And then when you travel to other parts of the town, you know, look at this. This is like super futuristic. And that was one of the reasons, actually, when I looked it up, I thought I want to see all that stuff. Here's my brother, Jeff. And the reason I'm showing you this is no other reason than to show you my brother, Jeff. But we were in this. This is a wonderful restaurant right near our hotel. And just the food in Valencia, Spain is absolutely outstanding. Really, really good. But the rest of the town is very charming and small and quaint and just as cute as it can be. Paella is their thing. There is paella.
We used to have that a lot when I was a kid.
Everywhere. These big giant pans like you see here. Literally, like we have hot dog stands in New York or pizza stands in New York. That's the way paella is. It's everywhere. And they have a bullfighting ring.
So much better than a hot dog stand.
I love the bullfighting, the exterior. I don't like what happens inside, but I did want to take a picture. But they have incredible gardens. It's just such an underrated place. I hardly hear, like, people are always going, oh, let's go to Iceland. I'm not even going to mention Iceland on my trip because everybody's already there, right? But Valencia, Spain, add it to your list. You will be surprised. Hey, can I show you the cathedral here? They have a wonderful cathedral. Oh my gosh, it's the main cathedral there. And that restaurant I showed you, which was incredible, right catty corner to that. I mean, literally, like right out the door of the church, take a right, and it's right there. And they have the most incredible cheese, like appetizer, like a tray of cheese. I still remember it. I have a picture of it, actually, and I'll
What was any of it in a can?
No, as a matter of fact,
Then how
none
could you
of it was a
possibly
can.
have enjoyed it?
Okay, can I explain something?
No. Keep going.
Okay.
You're doing good here.
All right. Anyway, these are all pictures of the place in Valencia, and we're back to where we started. Anyway, but this is one I think it has everything. It's a safe city. It's clean. It's beautiful. It has a wonderful indoor market that everybody goes to. And that's just, you could just spend hours in the market just shooting that. The old town is just beautiful. And it's just, and it has this incredibly modern awesomeness. It was all I could think of. I was there with my brother, and all I could think of was, I wish Kalebra could see this. You would have so loved it. You would have totally loved it.
Yeah, I would have.
Anyway, we have to take a break. It's break time. I want to do a quick shout out to last year's leaders of my worldwide photo walk. So last year was my 10th anniversary of my worldwide photo walk. Of course, this year will be the 11th anniversary. And if you led a photo walk last year, that means you were a leader last year. Go check your email, because we sent all of last year's leaders an invitation to be a leader this year. We always do that. We give you guys, before we release it to the public, you can go set up your photo walks. So if you led a walk last year, go look in your email. If you didn't get one, let me go ahead and give you my cell number. And just call me.
Do it.
Just call me. No.
Do it.
No. Just send us an email. You can send an email to S. Kelby. That's my public email, skelby@photoshopuser.com. I will forward it to the right person. That's if you led a walk last year, you are eligible to lock down your walk early before the public announcement of the walk, which will be sometime in October. Sometime. I will say historically it's been the first Saturday in October, but that's just historical. Certainly that could change. Anyway, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we have emergency stuff to tell you. Can I tell you something? I have a Photoshop and Lightroom HDR discovery. I'm not kidding. And it's...
Well, that is big news.
Because it was something, and I don't want to tell you, but I'm going to show you in a minute. Let's go to break. I better get ready.
because there's so much just keeps being added to Photoshop, I think it's good to kind of sit back and go, well, what's going to make my life easier? So one of the tips I cover is libraries. So you can start adding assets to libraries and color swatches and images, because you can share these with InDesign and Illustrator. So the whole thing for me with Photoshop is playing and practicing and just trying stuff out, because, you know, we all follow tutorials, and, you know, if the guy says it's this color or this is percentage. So jumping into these little areas in Photoshop and finding these new things might just change the way you work or give you a new effect you haven't found before. So I think the deeper you can go into Photoshop, the more fun you'll have with it. And so I put this class of tips together just so you can have these little shortcuts and just little help me things that generally catch you out in Photoshop, because you're going back and forwards through different commands. And what I wanted to do is just bring a bunch of them together that I've learned over the past few months to make my life easier, and just share them with KelbyOne members.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by B&H Photo, the professional source since 1973.
Hey, everybody, Scott Kelby here with Kalebra Kelby. And
Hello.
It's The Grid on a Wednesday. We're glad you're here. You know who else we're glad is here? Gordon from Hamilton, Ontario. Photo Mo from Northern Virginia, USA. Dave's here. Dave R. says, greetings, welcome, bienvenue, hola, etc. Becky says, hi, checking in from Goodyear, Arizona. Jeff May's here. Andy's here from Otley, UK. Kevin Scott says, hello, Kalebra. Oh, hi, Scott.
Hi, Kevin.
Anne's here from Argentina. Glad to have you all here. Dalton has a question. Hey, Scott, how about a photo dive instead of a photo walk? Now, you could do a walk as a photo dive, right? You could dive.
Yeah, why not?
What do we care? All right.
50 of your friends.
So you had, before we get rolling in here, just, I want to mention real quick, I'm going to be in Washington, D.C. in 16 days from now. On August 17th, I'm going to be in D.C. with my Lightroom tour. It's my last Lightroom tour, I think, of this tour. So come on out, and that'll be at the Convention Center right there in town. Hundreds of photographers in the Washington, D.C. area will be there. Why not you? Come on out. It's like $99 for the full day, including my detailed workbook and all kinds of goodies and stuff I won't tell you about until you're there, and you'll get all kinds of cool stuff. Go to KelbyOneLive.com. You can get more information. You can register, and I hope to see you in Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. Yeah, soon. May I ask, Kalebra, may I call you Kalebra?
You may.
Thank you. Kalebra, may we see a few more photos from Norway? I kind of jumped onto my thing, and can we see a few more?
Sure.
Do you have more you
Jason
can
has
show?
them.
Oh, Jason.
Yeah.
Oh, you really got the fix in there, didn't you? All right. So.
Okay. This is obviously not a shot of Norway, specifically the landscape or the people, but this is of their, what they call fish soup. And can I just tell you, oh my God, it sounds so boring, but it was always really, you know, nicely presented, and it was so good. And that stuff on top are actually like raw vegetables to give it some crunch. Oh my God, it's crazy. Like I have dreams about having that soup.
All right, can I ask you a question? The fries in the background, which is what's really important here, they're out
Those
of
were
focus.
Yiddles.
Did you do this with in camera, or did you do this in like post?
No, actually, you can get that with the
Portrait
iPhone.
mode?
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
I didn't even use portrait mode, I don't think, on that. But you'll still get that without using portrait mode.
Because you were real close in? Mm-hmm. Figures.
Yeah.
What else you got in your bag of tricks, Kalebra?
I don't know. Jason, what's next? Oh, okay. This was just another, you know, place we visited along
Another
the
day
way.
in Norway.
And I don't know, I thought it looked nice in black and white, so
It does look nice in black
did
and white.
that.
What else we got?
This was a really...
Okay, wait, stop.
What?
Kalebra had taken control of all of the seagulls in Norway, and they would pose on her command. She would go, I need a seagull to be at the exact same angle as this? Or can 3 of you fly in? Or it was ridiculous.
Okay, you want to know why?
Yes.
Seagulls dig me.
I knew it.
Okay. Anyway, so this was really neat. This one seagull kept flying really close around me, and so I just kept, because he was actually, or she or whatever, was actually much closer to me. Obviously,
me,
the
it's
mountains
a
were far. And anyway, so I just kept photographing it until it got someplace neat. So that's that one.
All right. And?
This was a little place we visited. What's the name of the town?
Oh, I know where that is. It's just past Hamnoy. It's the next little village past Hamnoy. It's Bobnoy.
Okay.
It's Porknoy.
Probably not.
Porknoy, I'm sure.
That is probably not the
past
name.
Past Hamnoy, you go to Pork.
I'll have to look it up. I think if you go to my Instagram account.
And what are you on Instagram?
Kalebra Kelby, I'm pretty sure.
Kalebra Kelby. I like that name. It's got a good ring to it.
Probably in the hashtag, the hashtags, but anyway, that was a beautiful little town, right? Okay, so that's that. Is that all from? No. There's got to be a few more Norway ones.
Oh, look, seagulls.
Right? How lucky was I? They perfectly framed that landscape.
That's a scam.
And followed us for
Photoshop.
a really long time. I was so excited when I got that because, I was trying to get something, but, come on, there's a lot of luck involved. I just was shooting and shooting and shooting. And then as I went through them, then I was like, yes.
Rabino Wen 9256 says, Kalebra has the patience to wait for the shot.
Oh, hi, Robin. I mean, Rabino.
Rabino.
Okay, sorry.
Please.
And this, right? We were driving back from all of that.
Yep.
And we came across this, and it was just amazing. It was their sunset, but it never really got dark. But this was sunset. I don't know where it was.
Somewhere. There's her Instagram page.
Oh, okay.
That's yours, by the way.
I'm not sure if that might have been all I had from Norway, Jason.
Yeah, we have any more from Norway?
Well, there's more on my Instagram, but anyway, Norway and summer. Yep. I don't know if you have time to plan that now, but it's pretty good.
Well, we did it really quickly. We planned Norway and we were there like a few weeks later. I think a lot of people will I have to plan 6 months in advance. It's almost more fun if it's almost spontaneous. Like, we're going to go in 3 weeks or 4 weeks. And it was hard getting airfare, getting good flights. Which is
would explain the five
flights. But we got there, and I'm glad we did.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing. Was there any more, or was that it?
I guess that was all of them.
If you go to her Instagram page, you will see a scary series of seagulls doing what can only be photoshopped in after the fact or something.
You know what was really neat that I liked about their seagulls? So here we have, our seagulls are kind of like skinny fry chasers, but their seagulls were so elegant. And they were so big. I mean, they were the size of our hawks or some of our eagles.
Yeah, they would actually lift a giant whale out of the water. You'd see them. They'd never get them up very high, and they would drop into the ocean. So Kevin has a question. He says, so I'm curious, Kalebra, was that sunburst in camera or in post? So
there was a burst, but it didn't come out the way I wanted it to. So I added that in post with its LD. Is that what it is? Light distortions. If you use your phone, you have got to get this app.
Best app.
Crazy.
Best.
Right.
Best
so there was a burst, but I made it a little bit more pronounced because the phone didn't pick it up that well. So good question.
Very nice. Are there any more pictures? Is that the end of those? Were there more, Jason?
That's it.
Okay, Jason says that's it. All right. Let's say Kevin Stewart says, hi from San Diego. Love you guys. Gary says, hi, Kalebra. Hi, Scott. Checking in from the Philippines. Glad to have you here, Gary.
Hi.
Everybody's here today. Okay, so I have another travel thing. I'll give you a travel thing, and then I'm going to do I'm serious. I'm not joking about my Photoshop Lightroom discovery thing.
No,
It's going to be big. It's going to be so big that I'm going to run it. I'm going to, like the clip I'm going to do here, I'm going to put on lightroomkillertips.com on Friday because it's stunning.
If you think it's really something, I'm sure
I had to go to Rob Sylvan for confirmation. That's how like, can this really be true? And Rob came back and said, oh, it is.
So did he already know about it?
He did not know about it.
Oh.
It's super
but
secret.
But he could confirm it.
He confirmed it. I said, Rob, am I crazy or is this
I
happening?
see.
Check, do this and do this. And he came back and said, you are not crazy. He said, you may be crazy, but your
okay.
technique is solid.
There you go. That sounds about right.
All right. So, and Rob, he's a straight shooter. Okay. So I'm going to give you another location. All right. So we talked about Valencia, Spain. Hey, let me ask Kalebra so I don't spoil hers. Is by any chance your other one, is it this place? Can you see?
No. Excuse me. Yes.
Okay, I won't show that one then.
Well, you can show it too.
No, I shall not. I'm going to go for ready.
Our shots will be very different. They always are.
Mine's going to be Santa Fe, New Mexico. There we go. So that's.
Is it true that in summer, when you land in Santa Fe and get off the plane, you burst into flames?
Yes, spontaneous explosion of heat. Yes.
I thought so.
August? Well, here's the thing. It can get very hot out there. But can I tell you, right now, it's very hot everywhere.
True.
It's
very hot
we're
here.
in Florida. It's hot as anything. It's hot in New York.
And
It's
humid.
hot in Chicago. It's hot everywhere.
True.
But I'm going to run you through a few pictures and we'll talk about Santa Fe. Now, these are just literally, I'm walking around downtown and I'm walking on this one street that everybody goes to. And these are literally just, I'm just grabbing shots of whatever. Okay. So, but it is such a colorful, unique,
Right.
beautiful, awesome, crazy place. I super love Santa Fe. So Santa Fe is an art community. It really totally is. And these are just, I'm just walking around just shooting whatever. Hey, look, you can see, there's something over, like a photo over that or something. There's something crazy happening in that picture anyway. And you're right down the street from this place. Famous Ansel Adams, has a very, very famous photo of this. And I think I did quite a bit better than Ansel, I think.
I think you did too.
I think Ansel's okay, but come on.
Well, I'd like to see him argue the point.
Oh, that was mean. Oh.
How's it mean?
Because he's dead.
I know, but it was a joke.
Oh, it's a joke, then it's okay. All right. All right.
He knows
Anyway.
he's dead.
Oh, man, you are not helping yourself. Anyway, so I've done workshops out there at the Santa Fe workshops, which is a great, great place. But oh my gosh, it is just the most fun. Hey, look, you can see I took the price tag off. Look, it had a price tag, and I took it off.
Well, I
and
think that was
brightened
a
it.
good move.
Was it? It's more authentic with the price tag because you know what it costs.
Okay.
Anyway, but do you like the way I built the little, look, I built the cactus? Come on. Anyway.
It's not your first rodeo.
No, it's not. But Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Okay.
Santa Fe,
camera's
New
back.
Mexico is one of the most fun places. Now, there is a street that runs, that everybody goes, it's like the big street that it's just galleries and outdoor cafes and stuff. It's wonderful. The whole downtown area, it's very small, it's very quaint. Don't think of a big, it's not Bergen Schmergen. It's very small. You walk the whole thing in half an hour. It's very, very small. And then the walk up the galleries is another couple hours or whatever. But there's also a gift shop. There's this outdoor gift shop there that I took my class to. I was doing a class there, and I took my class, and they said, we're going to go to, they said, where do you want to take your class? I go, I want to go someplace interesting to shoot. And they said, we're going to go to this outdoor gift shop. I'm like, I took you there. How great was it?
It was awesome.
Were we there? We were there for hours.
Oh, yeah.
With
It
Moose
was
and
super
Sharon.
cool.
Moose Peterson. Moose Peterson and his wife Sharon, we were all there together. I'm telling you, Santa Fe, for a photographer, you got to add it to your list. It is a wonderful town, really nice people.
It is.
A little bit hot. However, still very great. All right, we got to take a break. I just want to mention, while I'm thinking about it here, and I'm not sure that I am, I did a podcast with the traveling image photographer. Let me make sure I've got I can't quite read my notes on the screen because they will never ever scroll them no matter what. So let me look it up here on my written notes.
I think that was a hint.
Yeah, they didn't take it. So I did a podcast interview with the traveling image makers. So I made a bit.ly link. It is bit.ly.try TTIM Scott. Okay, so it's bit.ly/TTIM, like Tim Scott. And it's a podcast interview. We talked a little bit about the Worldwide Photo Walk, and they had been in the audience when I did my keynote speech in Chicago at the Out of Chicago conference. And so afterwards, they wanted to do an interview. And so we talked a little bit about my keynote and some other things. But again, that address, and feel free to pull it up on screen, wink, wink, control room, bit.ly/TTIM Scott, which stands for I'm Scott. Put it on in the background while you're driving or driving off a cliff or something like that. You know, it's good in the back. It's an audio podcast, so just there it is. Now tell me that's not Karen Hutton right there at the top.
That is Karen Hutton.
That is Karen Hutton. Karen Hutton is so awesome you can recognize her even when you don't see her face.
Yeah.
But that is Karen Hutton.
That is Karen Hutton. She's awesome.
Karen Hutton is the most awesome of awesome. We got a new class coming up with Karen Hutton.
I hope so.
Oh, yeah, we do. Anyway, look at that guy. Is that guy that you see in the picture there, is his haircut as good as the haircut I'm wearing right now? I don't think so. Look,
No, you got like a special haircut today. What happened? Is it the same person?
Yes, it's Elizabeth, yes. I don't know what happened.
I like her. She's very nice.
Yeah, she's very nice. We're going to take a short break because the word break is appearing on screen in giant letters now. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we have more locations. Kalebra's got a really good one and some other stuff. We have giveaways, too. We'll talk about those when we come back from the break. I got a Lightroom Photoshop thing, too. I keep teasing
Keep hearing about it.
I know. I'm going to do it when we get back, I promise. Seriously. I'm drinking.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Canon.
Make sure you don't miss any episodes of The Grid by subscribing to Apple's podcast app or iTunes. It's free, and we even have a special audio-only version, too. So sign up today.
Hey, we're back. Scott Kelby here with the Kalebra. What was I going to do when we got back from break?
You were going to show the Discovery.
Oh, I do have the Discovery. I have a Discovery and I have a travel bag. All right. Let me get ready for my Discovery. Hold on. I got to get to Lightroom. Okay. Here's my Discovery. Ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Ready.
So you guys know that Lightroom has a built-in HDR feature. And it doesn't make your stuff all tone mapped and all crazy and stuff. It does not do that. It simply takes your multiple exposures. In my case, I'm using 3 frames, a regular exposure, a one that's 2 stops underexposed, one that's 2 stops overexposed, and it puts it into one image. And when you're done, what it allows you to do mostly is expand your shadows without a bunch of noise. I mean, that's like one of the big features of it. So, and it does balance the, you know, the brights against the darks and all. I mean, it kind of like if you're shooting in a church and there's stained glass windows and then it's dark, it does a good job of, you know, putting those multiple exposures together. You guys know what an HDR image is. I don't have to go into that. Okay. Lightroom has it built in. Photoshop has it built in through Camera Raw. But there's also a thing called HDR Pro in Photoshop that's been there for a long time. It's not very popular because it actually does give you that crazy over-the-top tone map look. But I made a startling discovery. Here's the discovery. So I've done the image here if you look on screen here, this is an image that I did in Lightroom's, right? Just Lightroom straight up regular HDR. Now, I'm still here in Lightroom. I'm going to select these 3 photos, 1, 2, 3. And if you right-click on them or just go under the photo menu under Edit and you choose Merge to HDR Pro in Photoshop. And it's going to do the same thing. It's going to take the 3 images and put them into one. I'm going to show you what the interface looks like because there's something that you do in this interface that's different. And then I will tell you what the discovery is here in a second. It takes a second to do its thing here. So let's just give it a second to do its thing. And it's going to bring up this window. Now, when the window appears 4 to 5 weeks later, yeah, it's not maybe the fastest thing. I'm also low on memory right now, so it's taking longer than usual. I got to clear off some junk. All right, you will see it in this particular mode right here called local adaptation, and it makes your image look pretty bad. Like the default setting is pretty bad. What you're going to do is you're not going to touch anything but where it says mode. You're going to switch it to 32-bit. All right, and then you look at your image and it's like, well, that doesn't look that great. All right, and then you just click OK down here at the bottom. You click OK, and it will render that into an HDR image, and it's going to automatically convert it to 16-bit. So you're going to go, all right, so Lightroom does it, and Photoshop does it. Here's the startling discovery. The Photoshop version, when you do it this 32-bit way, is tremendously sharper than the Lightroom version. Like night and day sharpness. Like one looks like you've gone in there and super sharpened it and it's crisp and it's awesome and it even tones it better, and the Lightroom is not nearly as good. So I actually happen to have them. I'm going to click OK here on the one we did in Photoshop. All right. And by the way, the preview that you see in the Photoshop window is never as good as when you click OK and it renders it. So just know that what you see in the Photoshop preview window. So this is the one inside of, let me make sure I got the one. This is the one we did inside of Photoshop because it's still 16-bit, I believe. And this is the one we just did just now. If you lay them right on top of each other, let me make sure I've got the right one. I've got so many here, I'm not sure which is the right. This is a great tutorial when you don't know which is which. Let me see, this is the, okay, this is the photo, this is the Lightroom one. I'm gonna paste the Photoshop one, yes, on top. And I'm gonna use difference mode over here to get them aligned perfectly. So in difference mode, what you can do is, let me go to the move tool, you can nudge this, and when they're really lined up, it turns to solid black, right? When it gets really like right on the money, it just turns to black. Okay, so I can switch it back to normal mode. Now I'm gonna zoom in so you can see. Now I don't know how great this is gonna show up on screen, but if I just switch this on and off, this is the HDR from Photoshop, and this is the HDR from Lightroom, and you can see the difference. It's like night and day. And where you can really see it is, I'm going to zoom way in here. Now this is 200%, but look at the difference. There's detail in the Photoshop one in her face right here. You can see eyes and a nose, and you don't see it at all in the Lightroom version.
Wow.
So the Photoshop version with the 32-bit HDR creates a sharper, clearer, and more color accurate version than the HDR inside of Lightroom. There, I said it.
That is remarkable.
Yes, it is.
And handy and helpful.
Well, think about it. And honestly, this is what's interesting. The 32-bit version is so sharp, I'm afraid to sharpen it. Like, I sharpen everything. But the 32-bit version is so sharp that I feel that if I applied any sharpening to it, it would almost over-sharpen it. So I don't know if there's doing some kind of a sharpening algorithm or whatever it is, but take it for what it's worth. I just kind of wanted to, kind of figured this out. And I sent it to Rob. I didn't send him these photos. I said, Rob, you try it. Open one of your HDR. He wrote back, son of a gun, you are absolutely right. The
so
tone,
up until that point, you were doing all of your HDR
I was doing all of my
stuff.
HDR but now, if you go back 2 versions in my Photoshop book, I taught the 32-bit HDR before Lightroom had it in there. I just assumed that Lightroom was taking that 32-bit HDR and put it in there. And Jason just asked the question, would Photomatix still be better? Okay, Photomatix is never better.
Ooh.
No, I don't want to say that. Photomatix
I don't even know what
is
it
not where you go when you want a realistic HDR. Photomatix is where you go when you want it to look like Harry Potter kind of cool thing. That's okay, and I'm not kicking that look because that look is kind of, is kind of good. But I'm just saying, I'm only comparing, number one, Lightroom's HDR to Photoshop's 32-bit HDR. Now, it says 32-bit, but what it creates is a 16-bit, just like Lightroom's does. So it still just creates, it does not sample you all the way down to 8. And it doesn't stay at 32. They're both at 16. So you are comparing apples to apples, Photoshop's HDR to Lightroom. Now, there are other products out there, like Dalton's asking about HDR Pro. There are other products, but I'm talking about not adding an effect, right? I'm not talking about adding an effect. I'm talking about I want a realistic looking HDR. I'll add effects later. So Aurora HDR Pro, all of those are designed to give an effect to your HDR. They're not necessarily designed to just create a realistic looking one. So I went a little longer than I needed to go to. Till that point. Okay, that's one thing. First, we have a comment from Rick Salmon. All comments from Rick Salmon will always be read because Rick Salmon, one of the greatest guys in our industry, he says, another reason why I love Photoshop. There you go. Okay, back to our travel stuff.
Okay.
I've come across a new bag from a company in Germany. Now, they're just coming to the U.S. They actually have an English website now, and the site is pretty amazing. Now, see if I'm pronouncing this right. Compagnon? It sounds French, but they're
like
from
for
Germany.
Compagnon or something.
Compagnon. I'm going to go with Compagnon. Does that sound right? Compagnon? Wouldn't be Compagnon, would it?
I don't know.
Anyway, they have these beautiful bags, and let me tell you why. So the Weekender is the one I was interested in. Let me show you Weekender. Happen to have one right here. It's called the Weekender. Look at this bad boy. Now, I'm going to close this.
Do you need some help? Oh.
Beautiful leather. Look at, the color? It's the color of, I think, a Ferrari's seats. Like you ever look in a Ferrari, right? Look at that color.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It has pockets on the outside, and on the inside, okay, I'm going to tilt it forward so you can see. There are many, many, many pockets for sleeves for you to configure it any way you want, and a special holder for your laptop, up to a 15-inch laptop, no problem. So, but this is big enough, and it addresses a particular problem that I have. My problem is I don't ever want to not have my camera gear with me on a plane. Now, you know what I went through on Norway because we were going to wind up in a small commuter plane. What this will hold is your laptop. It'll hold, camera body, some lenses, whatever, depending on how long you're going, and your clothing, all in one bag. I could take this bag. If I was going for a 3 or 4 day trip, I could put all of my clothing in here, my travel kit, my camera, 2 or 3 lenses, and my laptop and cables and everything all in one bag. And it's soft-sided, so you can put it under the seat in front of you, over the whole 9 yards, all that kind of stuff. So you can find more about it at their website. It is not inexpensive because it is real, gorgeous, fabulous leather. This is for the rich traveling photographer. This is not for...
or a gift, maybe, for
someone. Or
someone.
a gift for someone that you really, really love. But I got to tell you, it is absolutely made beautifully. You talk about I think crafted.
That's actually a really good thing. That's a big problem, and if it's a problem for you, it's a problem for a lot of traveling photographers. And that's you're kind of having to choose what are you going to leave behind, or what can you take onto the plane. And if you can get all of that into one thing, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I fit this under my seat, no problem. I could put it in the overhead of almost everything. The last trip, that tiny little propeller plane we took, probably not, but this definitely would have fit under my seat. And so when they force you to check your stuff, it's creepy.
Creepy.
It's like,
creepy.
Well, I mean, you just heard the woman lost $14,000 worth of gear on
that's
like a
not
United
creepy.
flight or something.
Yeah.
That's awful. I mean, they forced her to check it.
The only thing I'm going to challenge you with is 3 or 4 days worth of clothes.
For me, yeah, but the way I pack, where I roll my clothes up and all, no, I could do definitely a weekender bag. It's called the Weekender, right? That's the name of the thing, is the Weekender.
That's a couple days.
That's a couple days. I could put 24 days of black shirts in here. I could go, they should call this the monther for me. They also have a smaller bag called the Little Weekender. It's less expensive. It's smaller. But anyway, I just got to show it to you guys. I'll write a whole review on it and all for the KelbyOne blog and stuff. But anyway, I loved it. I saw it and I'm like, man, that thing, it smells like the interior of a Ferrari. It's absolutely beautiful. You can go get it at their website. Their website is Compagnon or Compagnon-bags.com. When you get there, you can choose the German or the English. If you speak English and that's your only language, choose German and just see if you can figure out what's going on. But it's right there at the top. You can choose German, the Deutsch version, and there it is. Mm-hmm. And it still says the Weekender, though. That's the important thing. Überall, cool. Hey, I know what that last word meant. Anyway, made in Germany. They're fabulous. They're ridiculously fabulous. Anyway, but they're new and cool. That's my addition to our travel show. All right, Kalebra,
Handy.
Give us another destination for photographers.
Jason. So, of course, important to our family. We love Maine in the summer.
We do love Maine.
And coming from Florida, it's just wonderful because it's actually not hot. It's generally, I'm sure they have,
Can I tell them how we wound up in
weathers.
Maine for the last 10, 12 years? So one day we're sitting here in Florida and we're sweating, and my wife looks at me and she goes, "Do you know where I want to go this summer?" I go, "Where?" She goes, "Just tell me, where is it cool right now in America?" I go, "Well, it's Maine." She's like, "We're going to Maine." And we've been going to Maine for 12, 14 years. Literally, we've been going to Maine ever since. Well, tell us a little something.
Right. Well, because if it hadn't been so awesome when we got there, that wouldn't be the case. But the weather is beautiful. There's always a nice little breeze. If you're into nature and, just beautiful views and scenery and landscape and just chilling out, you can still wear a sweater. It's nice. These are shots from, actually, our daughter and I went just recently. And this was the little, we always stay in these little cottages, and this was actually a really much bigger one than normal. But you can see, when you're there, there's the big landscape things you can go out and do because, Maine is just gorgeous. Everyone tell you that. But even, the quieter moments is how I would describe
These are beautiful. And these are all iPhone.
Those are with my iPhone.
Boo.
The iPhone, you can do HDR with that too. In fact, whenever I shoot, I'm shooting HDR and a regular image at the same time because it'll do that. And then I can decide which one I like. This was just a little pond near where we were, but there are so many little scenes and moments like this in Maine, which is why I love it there. And in summer, if it's blistering hot wherever you are, it's the perfect place to go because you can be outside and not just want to fall over.
Right. So where we go is the Kennebunkport area, and all around there.
Well, that's our base.
That's our base. Yeah, we cruise around there. But there is a place next door. Is it called Porpoise Cove?
There is a Porpoise Cove.
Porpoise Cove. So I'll show you a couple of real quick shots.
About Orchard Beach.
No, I love Orchard Beach.
Everybody does.
Yeah, and there's great like fairs to take the kids to that are there all year. Like they're permanent fairs or carnivals, whatever you want to call them, with rides and stuff. And Kalebra had a famous quote for me there once. It was a number of years ago, but she walked up to me and she looked me straight in the eye and said, "Never, ever in my entire life let me order a giant turkey leg again." And that was the last time she ever had a giant turkey leg. Just saying. All right, I'm going to show you some pictures, and then we're gonna take a break here. So, I'm not connected anymore. Hang on. Giant turkey leg. We'll look at these pictures after the break. After Juan.
Normally eat turkey legs.
Juan said a break is preferred. Well, let's do that then.
I'm with you, Juan.
I don't think printing has ever been more important than it is today. I think people are surprised by the power of Lightroom's printing. From Lightroom 1.0, the first time I started printing in Lightroom and realized how powerful it is, I'd never printed in Photoshop again. I don't want people to get surprises when they get their print. I don't want them to look at it, and I don't want it to look too dark. I don't want to have the colors off. I don't want to have it wrong. So I really focus on how to get predictable prints every single time. And it's really nuts and bolts. It takes you through all the things. We're going to talk about how to deal with banding, how to do soft proofing, the misconceptions, all this kind of stuff. And we're going to talk about sharpening. There's capture sharpening, creative sharpening, output sharpening. You got to do them all if you really want to get that legendary sharpness that you see in other people's prints. If you've never printed with Lightroom's print module, you are going to fall in love with it. This class is going to take you from beginning to end and show you exactly how to make beautiful prints in Lightroom Classic.
A couple of really big benefits of being critiqued. One, it tells you what you're doing well. Two, it tells you what you're not doing well and areas to focus on. Three, it tells you potentially how the stories you're attempting to tell are being seen and shared by others, including stories you maybe even didn't know you were telling. And then the last thing I think it does is the more you get critiqued, the better you are at critiquing others, and then you can help other people really move their photography forward as well. And really that's what this class was about, was taking an established methodology that has been in existence for almost 70 years now that we know works. So to bring that kind of structure down here, I think is going to be helpful for people who are soliciting feedback to know how to ask for it. And for those people giving feedback, to give them the tools to feel like they can really respond to anybody who's looking for help. I'm Daniel Gregory. Come and check out my latest class on KelbyOne.com.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Platypod, the world's most compact tripod base.
Counting.
Hey, we're back. Scott here with Kalebra, and got lots of questions. Susie Q said, hey, that bag would be nice for a part of the grand prize for the photo walk. Ooh, that would be nice. I totally agree. Idea. Ed says, I'm going to Lake Garda, Italy soon. Any tips, Scott? Oh,
Take
Ed.
me with you.
So I've been to Lake Garda. My brother Jeff really wanted to go to Lake Garda. We took a day trip to Lake Garda. Here's what my tip to you would be. When you're in Lake Garda, and Lake Garda is very pretty, there's great restaurants and scenery and a big lake in the middle of it all. But you are so close to the Dolomite or the Dolomiti mountain range.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just ask Juan. Juan, what do you think about the Dolomites? Juan's ambivalent. Anyway, the Dolomites are just some of the most amazing, most beautiful mountains. They are the Alps of northern Italy. You're
so
like
you've gone that
hour.
far,
so
it's kind of like
gone to Lake Garda,
yeah.
Lake Garda is beautiful, don't get me wrong, but don't stay at Lake Garda because it's a lake. Head to the Dolomites and you will love it. Lake Garda is gorgeous. You stay there, spend the night there, eat there, look at the lake.
Could you make it a base?
Yes, you can make it a base, but please, I'm begging you, Ed, go to the Dolomites. You will be amazed. It is so wonderful. Between an hour to two, wherever you're going, the Dolomites are a giant, mountain range. So there you go. Pernille says, did I say that right? Pernille?
Looks right to me.
It looks right to Kalebra. Good enough. It says, hi, I'm traveling to South Africa for a safari vacation. Ooh. I've seen a lot of classes on KelbyOne, and I've learned a lot. I'm so excited for the vacation and the opportunities for taking all kinds of different photos. Photography is an amazing hobby where you can learn something new every day. Man, that last sentence, photography is an amazing hobby where you can learn something new every day. There are few things that you can learn something new. Like golf is a great hobby, and I love the sport of golf. But you go a long time in golf before you learn something new. You can learn stuff new in photography every single day. It is. That was really well said.
Well, it is one of those hobbies, but like golf kind of, but any hobby that you have that causes you to travel is an awesome hobby.
Absolutely.
Because there's so much to learn about life just from traveling, wherever.
Really?
To any place.
I always said the U.S. government should pay for every American citizen to travel to another country, just somewhere outside of our country, because it expands your worldview and your view of people around the world in such a positive and wonderful way. And one of the things that you learn is that people everywhere you go are pretty much the same. Right? Everywhere you go, people want the same things. They want good schools for their kids. They want good jobs. They want peace. They want, governments are different, but people are people pretty much everywhere you go. And I've been to all kinds of different countries, and communist countries, Mideastern countries, European countries, Asian countries, all over. And everybody, it's amazing how much we have. We have way more in common than we do in.
Well, all of that is true. But the one thing I would add is if you have children, it's such a great thing. And to start them really young. We've met some young parents and they're like, oh, well, I can't travel anymore until my kids get to be a certain age. Oh, no.
Travel early.
Start them early, as soon as you can. I think ours started traveling at 4 and then 7 months or something. Because it is a confidence builder when they have to navigate a place or a language or even the food. When they have to do that, it's really great for their worldview.
Oh, yeah.
But also it's a confidence builder for them. Like, well, I can get through the airport by myself, or I can do this. Or it's really, there's so many great things about travel.
Oh, yeah. Travel
anyway,
is
so just throwing that in there.
It enriches your life in huge ways. There's a wonderful quote from what's her name? The poet. Who's the famous?
Maya Angelou.
Maya Angelou.
Okay.
Great poet. I can't remember the quote. Maybe I'll find it someday. Actually,
well, she's got a lot of good quotes. So
I know where a good quote is, so maybe I can find it. I doubt it. I want to show you some pictures from Maine real quick. Here, I'm just going to whip through them. But this is Porpoise Cove, which is very close to Kennebunkport, a beautiful area. This is an hour from Kennebunkport. That's a very famous, Nettle Lighthouse or something, I forget. But there's so many beautiful areas up there to shoot. This is all right around that area. This is the dock that I shouldn't have been shooting on that I talked about last week.
Oh, that's right.
And I think that shot should be cropped about, what do you think there? And this is the lighthouse there. So, anyway.
It's a gorgeous place.
I have another place to go. We're running out of time, so I have to do these quickly. I have another place you can go that I would highly recommend, and it's easier to get there than it has ever been. I know people are like, oh, that seems so far away, but it's really not. And I got two of them for you, and one of them is, let's go to here, Dubai. Dubai is... It's in the Middle East, and you'll think, oh, I don't know, I don't know it is like another state. Everybody speaks English. Everybody speaks English there. And you will be amazed. You're in Dubai, and you'll go, oh, look, there's a Five Guys burger shop. There's P.F. Chang's. There's the Gap. It is the most Americanized foreign place. I used to tell people, if you want to go overseas, if you've never been before, go to England. Dubai is more American than England is. Wow. It's very Americanized. There's great shopping. There's great everything. There's great food. There's great architecture. I'm just gonna. Someone just asked the question: how much time do you spend scouting? I do my scouting before I leave. All my scouting is done on Pinterest, which Kalebra turned me on to, and I didn't realize how awesome it was. And 500px. I pretty much know where I'm going to go before I go based on those two websites. What I like about Pinterest is individual people will curate. If you write Italy, individual people will curate my favorite shots of Italy, and there's usually a description. It was here, it was there, you know. So that has been, it's other people curating beautiful photos. 500px, it does more of a search, but 500px is also a great source for beautiful photography. Those are the two places I do my scouting. All right.
Do you have giveaways? I
do. We have giveaways. We're going to give away in a second. Let me just show you a couple more quick shots. Here we go.
I tried.
Great architecture in Dubai. Me in Dubai. This is me shooting. Ready? This, and this, and this, and this is me in the back of my Uber. Yes, they have Uber, but we were driving away and I saw these nice, clean, you know, and I'm like, wait, stop. Don't tell anyone. That would be embarrassing. All right. And so anyway, Dubai is just incredible and amazing. And right next to it is Abu Dhabi, where the world's largest mosque is, which is just incredible, which you just saw. And here's a shot inside the mosque right here. Yeah, it's crazy. And there's me in a car. Okay, so that would be another place. Let me tell you about these giveaways, and then we'll tell you where to go. Then we'll do one more city, and we're out because we have like 90 seconds, 60 seconds. Our gifts are a Platypod Ultra. This is what I take with me when I travel. I've gone on entire trips and only pulled this out for the entire trip. It is the best. One of the cities I was going to talk about was Lisbon, and we've run out of time. But in Lisbon, I lived on this thing. It was wonderful. And we're going to give one away today. So it's what you use instead of a tripod. They are so great. I can't say enough about them. We're going to give away Victoria Pavlov, digital artist and awesome Photoshop author and Photoshop World instructor, is giving away an hour one-on-one time with her about Photoshop or digital painting or whatever. She's great and very sweet, and you will love her.
Heck yeah, I just want to spend an hour with her.
I know, right?
Doing
I should
whatever,
steal one of those.
having lunch.
And my brand new book is on press right now. How to do that in Lightroom Classic. The ebook is available now, but the printed book is on press, and we should have them any day. So we're going to, if you win one of these, we'll send it to you wherever you are. How do I do that in Lightroom Classic? It is the second edition. It's brand new. I updated one of my most popular books ever. Where do you go to win these? Or Lens Pro to Go $50 gift card right here. Where is it? Lens Pro to Go. If there's a particular lens you want to rent or a body you want to rent for a weekend or something, there's $50 gift card right here. Go to KelbyOne.com/contest. And give us your name. You have to tell us what you want to win. Say, I want to win the book. I want to win the Lens Pro to Go. I want to win the Platypod, whatever. So there's going to be 4 winners. So yay. Ed says, thanks, Scott. I will check out the Dolomites. Oh, Ed, you will write me a thank you note afterwards. All right. I'm going to give you one last city we have to go. All right. This is the last one for the day. And it is, let me give you... This one sounds like it's going to be hard to do, but it's going to be easy to do. Not there. Hold on. Here we go. Cuba. Despite what you've read, people leave for Cuba every day, all day. You can go there pretty much no problem.
Well, you can cruise there now.
Yeah, you can take cruise ships there now. Cuba is still just an amazing, amazing place with a lot of old cars. And, I don't know what that was. How did that get in there? Anyway... There's a lot of old cars and people and beautiful buildings and beautiful architecture. And that thing should be cropped, I think, like that. What do you think? Crop like that?
I think that would be perfect.
All right. Anyway, so Cuba, still just an incredibly awesome place. Well, guys, we have to run. Victoria says, I love you, Kalebra, very much.
She knows I love her, too.
And she says nothing for me whatsoever, just blank.
But
too late now.
Does.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure she loves me. Yes, of course. Anyway, Christina, thank you for your moderation. You were very moderate today, and I appreciate that. Juan, beautiful work on the jib and well struck on the break time. Jason, good job there in the booth. Ron and all the crew here. Thanks to you all. Do me a favor. Go to KelbyOne.com. Check us out if you're into learning about Photoshop or photography about Lightroom. That's what we do. We'll see you guys next time right here live on The Grid. Take care.